Welcome back. So I did want to recap last night's race over at the Huset Highbank Nationals. I guess technically it was the Huset's Hustle, but I will probably call it the Highbank Nationals throughout this video and for the rest of the week as well. But if you are looking at this board, you're saying, wow, that's a lot of stuff on the board there, Chase. Well, the right side here, that is the finishing order from last night's race. The black number is where they started at or where they finished at, and the red number is where they started at. So if that kind of helps clear up some things, if it looks a little bit busy over there. But I got some bullet points over here I wanted to talk about, and then, yeah, and that'll be it for this video, and then we'll do another recap tomorrow after tonight for the $100,000 to win Huset's Hustle. But let's get into these bullet points, and then we'll take a look at the finishing order of the race. The first part, which I thought was a pretty big deal, was the qualifying track held up very, very nicely, which is important in this format where you're handing out points for qualifying position. I thought it was really good that the track was able to hold up that well. I mean, just for an example here, Rico Abreu, in the first group of cars, he was the 30th, the last car to go out in Flight A, and he was able to go quick time. Kyle Larson, 27th car to go out, he was second quick. Caleb Johnson, 22nd car out, he went third quick. And Brad Sweet, 25th car out, he went fourth quick. So Flight A for sure, the track held up nicely, and then in Flight B, there were a couple cars that went out late and ended up inside the top 10 as well. So for this format, the qualifying track has got to be able to hold up well, and that certainly was a good thing that happened yesterday for Huset Speedway. Now, the thing that was not good was the heat race track. And the problem with this is, with the format, when you award the passing points, you have to have a track where these guys can pass on, right? And that was just not the case last night. Unless you started outside of row 2 or outside row 3 and you're able to pass that guy on the inside because it seemed like the top of the track was definitely where you wanted to restart the races at, then you were going to be in big trouble, right? So the heat race track needs to be better for the rest of the week. And, I have confidence that they can get it better for the rest of the week. I know it's night 1 of 4 and, there's 60 cars. So, maybe they were just trying to maybe figure things out for later on in the week, but the heat race track going forward needs to be better to allow these guys to make their way forward a little bit more. I don't know if it needs to be more laps or just a little bit less water throughout the day or whatever it is, but something has got to change because, Rico Abreu and, some people might say, well, you're a high limit guy, so of course you're going to, try and single him out or whatever, but here's the thing. I mean, Rico Abreu went quick time overall. He was the last car out to qualify. He goes quick time, gets maximum points. But in the heat race, he got a bad start. He went from starting 6th, and he finished in the 7th spot. So he went back 1 position in the heat race, and he started, that's supposed to say 15th in the B. But he started 15th in the B as the fast qualifier and losing 1 position, right? And you're probably saying, well, Chase, he should pass cars every time he's on the track, right? And he would have been in the show. Well, then take this, for example. Tanner Thorson qualified 13th overall. He lost a position. He went 2nd to 3rd in the heat race, and he started 19th in the feature. So I don't know if there needs to be a tweak in the points, how they're awarded, or if the track just needs to be better and allow these guys to pass each other a little bit more. I'm not sure, but it doesn't make sense that the quick time guy loses 1 spot in the heat race. He starts 15th in the B. The 13th place guy starts 2nd, finishes 3rd, and he starts in the feature. I'm not really sure what needs to change there, but that kind of left a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth when the quick time guy, he literally had no chance to make the show after the heat race. I mean, it was basically over. In the heat races as well, every single heat race, with the exception of one, was won from the pole position. Andy Pate, Christopher Bell, Gio Scelzi, Tim Kading, and Connor Morell, all able to win their heat races from the front row. And then Jai Corbett was the only guy that won a heat race that did not start first place in the heat. He started 2nd, and I don't know who he passed, but he got the win. But the rest of them from the pole able to get the victory. And that's the thing. I saw a lot of people saying, well, if you put the slowest cars on the front row, this would change things. The problem with that is I feel like in today's society, the cars are all so close. Everybody has the same stuff. There might be like 5 cars out there that are a little bit, they don't have the same equipment as some of the top guys, but, even some of the slower cars can hang on for 10 or 8 laps, whatever it is at Huset Speedway, and get the heat race win, right? So, and I know we saw that. Andy Pake is getting very, very good. I mean, he's getting better and better every single race, but, Andy Pake had a bunch of really fast cars behind him, and they just could not pass him, right? So the track just needs to be better. I think that's just the general consensus in the heats. It's got to be wider. It's got to be 2 lanes. It sounded like there was some grease on the bottom. And so it was just impossible to go down there from what it sounded like from all the drivers on Dirt Vision. There was also a big wreck in heat race number 6 with Riley Goodnow, Ian Madsen, Austin DeCarl, and Dominic Dobesh, which put Madsen up on the lid in a huge way. McCarl, I don't think he technically got upside down, but his car was destroyed. And it looked like Goodnow got sideways on the start. He started outside the front row. Madsen tried to split the gap through the middle. Goodnow came down the track and just an absolute melee down the straightaway. And that is where Spencer Bayston comes in the mix, because he was supposed to start in the 6th position, meaning that he qualified, I want to say he qualified 3rd overall in his flight. And so with the 6-car invert, he started 6th. He missed that wreck, and he immediately goes from P6 to P2 on the starting grid, gaining a ton of passing points. He was not able to pass Christopher Bell in that heat race, but he was close with him the entire way. Those guys, I mean, it looked like he could have made an aggressive maneuver to get by Bell, but he wasn't able to do it. He ends up in 2nd, and he ends up as the high point guy due to that big wreck there in that 6th heat race. And so that is where things went very well for Spencer Bayston here on night 1 of the Huset Tussle. Then we got to the C main, and Mark Dobmeyer, multi-time Huset Speedway winner. I think he's even won an Outlaw show there. He transferred in through the C main along with Logan Schuchart, who did not qualify well. He gained a spot or 2 in the heat race, but it was not enough. He was in the C main. He would transfer from that to the B. In the B main, it was Brad Sweet, Sheldon Hodenshield, Caleb Johnson, and Carson Macedo from the B going to the feature. And I've got those last 2 guys underlined because it was a crazy finish to this race. They were 3 wide for the transfer spot in the B main. Kerry Madsen was challenged low by Caleb Johnson coming to the white flag in turn 3. I don't know if Madsen was expecting that to happen. He kind of entered in through the middle. Caleb Johnson was underneath of him, maybe surprised him. And Macedo was ripping the top around the outside. Madsen slides up to get to the cushion, and Carson Macedo was already there. They made contact. Macedo goes flying through the air, lands on all 4s, stays in the throttle, and is able to hang on to that final transfer spot with 1 lap to go. So some crazy stuff there in the B main. The B main doesn't need to be more laps. It's only 12, which is the length of a normal World of Outlaws B main. But I feel like in a special event like this, it needs to be 15 laps at least, a little bit longer, for those guys towards the tail end of the field to have any shot to make their way forward. Now, I know it is a very stacked field. It's going to be tough to pass cars anyways, but I just think 3 extra laps in the B main would be a pretty big difference here. So I'm not sure, but a lot of guys missing out on the show. I've got some just kind of laid out over here. Aaron Reitzel missed the show. Chase Randall missed the show. He flipped big in the B main, battling for a transfer spot. Logan Schuchart misses the show. Rico Abreu, Kerry Madsen, Brady Bacon, Austin McCarl, Cole Macedo, and a bunch of other cars missed the show. But Rico was probably the one, in my opinion, that was the most shocking after going quick time. But a ton of really good cars were not a part of tonight's A main. Then in the feature, it was a front row of Ashton Torgerson and Spencer Bayston, which is very interesting. There is no dash, so it's just a redraw for your starting position. Bayston would jump out to the early lead, and he looked pretty good all the way throughout this main event. Bayston's always been good at Huset's. He does have an outlaw win there, a couple of podiums as well. But then Kyle Larson on a restart for a flipping Jai Corbett. Larson would throw a big slider on the restart. He'd get in front of Spencer, and then they would keep going. I think they went green the rest of the way, maybe one more yellow. But Larson would get out front, and then Spencer would track him down at the end and get very close. I think it was 85 thousandths of a second was the finish line between those two. But in my opinion, the best car on the racetrack in this feature was Buddy Kofoid. I mean, he was absolutely flying. Even on a track that was kind of tough to pass on, he went from 8th all the way up to 3rd. And just almost sucked the stickers off the side of Gravel's car. I mean, he was that good. I think Kofoid, as we mentioned in the video earlier this week, I think he is the #1 guy to win this race. Maybe not the 100,000 because Kyle Larson's obviously going to be in a good spot. But for the 250,000, Kofoid, I mean, he is in a league of his own, in my opinion, at Huset Speedway right now. And then also turn off the freaking big screen, dude. Turn it off. Do something else with it when the feature's green. Put the running order on the screen. Do not show cars on the big screen during green flag action. I have been praying for that for years at the Chili Bowl and several other events. The big screen should not show cars on the track. You heard Kyle Larson there in the victory lane. I just looked at the big screen and saw that Spencer was closing on me, so I figured I would be all right, but I just kept looking at the screen and making sure he wasn't behind me and close. I was like, come on, man, this isn't NASCAR. We don't have spotters. We don't have rear view mirrors, right? Turn off the big screen when cars are green on the racetrack. That that meme of that guy that's standing up like this, that's my thing. Turn off the big screen during green flag action. I am tired of it. And then also at the end here, Tanner Thorson, Brad Sweet, they were able to pass cars. Thorson went plus 11 and Brad Sweet was plus 10. So nice job to those guys salvaging some good nights after kind of having to come from the tail end of the field. Now the finishing order, Kyle Larson, he got the win. He started fourth. Spencer Basin, his best run of the season by far, led a bunch of laps and ended up in the second spot. And he looks like he's the high point guy. He's also the high point guy going into tonight. So he will start on the pole of the heat race here this evening. So nice job by Spencer and everybody else of the Jason Myers Racing team. Hopefully that speed continues into tonight. Buddy Kofoid was third, David Gravel fourth, and then Garrett Williamson ended up in fifth. The top 10, Anthony Macri, Bill Baylog, Tanner Thorson, he was the hard charger, and he is eighth in the overall point standings. He will start outside the front row in heat race number 2 tonight. Gio Selzy and Tim Kading rounded out the top 10. Nice stop by TK. He has been solid at Huset's this year, and hopefully that speed continues for him this evening. Brad Sweet, Hunter Schoenberg, Ashton Torgerson start on the pole. He ended up 13th, his first ever time at Huset Speedway. Tyler Courtney and Brian Brown rounded out the top 15. Then Carson Macedo, Sheldon Hodenshield, Donnie Schatz, Christopher Bell, and then Justin Henderson, the top 20, with Caleb Johnson, Connor Morrell, Jai Corbett, and Andy Pake. The other cars that were involved, Corbett, and Pake were the two cars that got into incidents. I think they both got upside down. But that is the finishing order. Baston led laps 1 through 15 with Kyle Larson leading laps 16 to 35. And one of these days, when I do a recap like this, I will have all of the magnets. I'm missing Henderson and I am missing Andy Pake. So close to having a perfect 24 car field with all the numbers. So let me know your thoughts on what we saw last night at Huset Speedway for the prelim to the Huset Tussle. I want to hear all of your thoughts and more. We will do another video like this tomorrow for the $100,000 race tonight, and we will do a video like this as well for Skagit Speedway, which starts tonight over there at the Dirt Cup. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, and we'll talk to you guys again here tomorrow on the Rodman Rundown.